Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney. We are officially on the case, even if it's only because Gina's wants us to be happy. So we'll have to see. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? We should go home and get some rest. Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the let me try that word again. Here are the representation papers. Your ladyship! Huh? How? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. Glug glug? He's gonna say ta very much again. Ah, lovely. Well, let's see now. Oh, I guess not this time. Yes. I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime then? Do as you please. You know where it happened. Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Winniebank and Gina. Right. Well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? I won't be investigating, I'll be inspecting. That's my job, son. If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this place up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine! Come then, let us not waste any time. I'm gonna immediately do it by wasting time. Hey, what's with the lamp? There's the article ledger here and Mr. Winniebank's notes and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Oh, look on the back. There's some writing. Is there? Oh, show us, Susie, show us. That's a bloody fingerprint. 15th of February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited one gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid £1. Redemption deadline the 15th of April, 10:30 p.m. A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1? Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think... Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday. And is still wearing, which belonged to Mr. McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. It seems Winniebank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have on hand. Which is strange that we seem to have an identical one. But this photograph of a cat. It looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact picture somewhere recently. Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Of course! I was forgetting that she gave us that print. I mean, I wasn't, because I'm super smart. Well, what are you waiting for then, Mr. Narhodo? Get it out! Alright, let the cogs turn. Is it gonna be a lithograph? Look, they're slightly off. Look at the way the eyes are. It's gonna be a lithograph. Oh, frick, we're gonna be able to look in there and see something then. Yeah. This is, that's what they call them, right? A lithograph? I think? No. Well, it's the 3DS thing. We're gonna do a 3DS picture with them. Yes, they are exactly the same. No, they're not. Iris knows. I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret. A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. Do you really want to know? Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Really? Okay. I mean, I guess me putting it together is just because I'm a smart man. So Iris, about these photographic prints, The one we found here on Mr. Winniebank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. Yeah, look at the angle, right? That's clearly a lithograph. Am I used that word right? Am I correct? Oh, I am super wrong. Is it stereograph? I think it's a stereographic image. That's what it is. Yeah, it's stereographic, not lithographic. Right. Sometimes I just say words that I'm like only 60% sure is correct. But I always say them with confidence, which leads to me either fooling people who don't know or making myself look like a massive fool before those who do. This is one of those probably ladders. What is this amazing secret message behind the identical prints? Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry. If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not? Have another look at them now. It's subtle, but you can see it. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Well, it's because they're a set, you see. No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. There we go. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? Oh, yes, that's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. I was going to say we have one. You see? There it is, just over there. Yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch. And again, this is such a feature that then you would use on the 3DS and it would actually work and you'd be like, wow, real 3D. Except we're not on the 3DS, we're on a console that doesn't melt in your hands anymore. Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. Yeah, you're supposed to cross your eyes. I've never got it to work. Some people say it's like those pictures you can stare at, then apparently a hidden image appears. I've never been able to. I also can't get hypnotized. We went to a hypnotist. They brought a hypnotist into our school, and they had him hypnotize 20 students, and my mom, she was there too. And I was one of the volunteers, and nope. Couldn't be hypnotized. Which, in the end is probably a good thing, but it absolutely hypnotized a bunch of other kids. Apparently, I might have been too skeptical. So, also, I just realized there's the thinker over there. What a nice reference. What? Really? Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating this scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Okay. Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just open them, and it works. But the reason it works is because we have two eyes. 2 eyes? Shocking. You try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, is it actually gonna move? Oh yeah, cool! And what you see with your right eye are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate a depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see. My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints? Yes, Runo, you're beginning to understand. And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that? Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can? Really? Okay. Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. How is this going to work on the non-3DS? Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Tasada-san really loves this kind of thing. You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? Oh, is this maybe in the original where she said you're going to need to turn on the 3DS slider? We'll see here. Cross my eyes? I think I can. Watch me and see if you can copy me. Oh! Powerful image! Make your eyes do this. Alright, let me try. Oh, this is really silly. What the frick is going on? There, how's that? Wonderful, now it's your turn, Runo. The trick is to concentrate looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. As a kid, I learned to do this because it would make my friends laugh. Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed. Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print, then slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images like this. You try now, Runo. I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose. How are they doing this? Did the print split into two images for you? No? Now the next step... Oh, you mean, okay, you wanted me to turn one into two images by crossing my eyes, okay. Is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, then try crossing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together until... Oh, that is just now an actual 3D picture. You can tell that is now in-engine. They form a new single image in the center. Oh yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see in the middle now. It looks so real. Oh, I could look at it all day. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt. Your turn, Runo. Do I have to... Are they going to actually make me do this? Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle. Like... Okay, I'm going to do it myself. Okay, one sec. Oh yeah! Okay! Oh no! Oh my god, it's working for the first time ever! Wowie! Yep. That is one very blurry cat. I mean, it is 3D. Wow. Wow, that works really good. Wow. I don't know if you guys are doing this, but I am. And absolutely, that cat is coming out towards me right now. Wowie zowie. Okay, cool. Ow. That's not good to do for too long, though. I mean, I did it myself. There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Again, I really wonder if this was Bren. I wonder. Stereoscopic images, Ace Attorney. Let's see here. Anyone have a link to the stereoscopic image from Great Ace Attorney? Oh, there's multiple. Okay, well, it's a good thing I'm not... You know what? I am not going to... I'm not going to... Oh, and apparently people are saying, like, yeah, there's going to be multiple. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Well, we'll get to sort of see what they mean for us to see. This is curious. I think I remember people saying, like, there was a very 3DS specific feature. And I guess this is it. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. It is, because actually, like, for the first time ever, I actually saw the cat jumping out at me in 3D. That's pretty cool. So, what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo? Are certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky. It's also known as a Nintendo 3DS. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, then set the pair of photographic prints on the stand at the back, and it's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works. Well, Lennon seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. I can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently. If these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them. Oh, 'cause he thinks it's like a kabuki face. But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case. That's a reference to the 3DS. Stereoscopic pictures. I never even heard of them until yesterday. You've certainly learned a lot about them. I wonder if it's knowledge I'll ever actually need. The second white cat photograph print has been entered in the court record. Interesting. So, this one says pawnbroker's ticket box. It feels like you've seen another print like this. Again, the blood is the big thing. Is the ticket that Gina brought in here yesterday. Yes, having been entrusted to her by McGilded 2 months ago. Article deposited one gentleman's overcoat. And the redemption ticket was in the pocket of that coat. Yes, oh, typo. For a small box deposited 2 days before the omnibus accident. Could that have anything to do with all this? Look, this dark red smear here appears to have been made by someone's finger. Do you think it could be blood? Do you see any red mark as blood, Iris? That's a bit morbid, I think. But it's almost certainly blood, isn't it? 10-year-olds today. Is something else? Can't find anything out of place? No, okay. Okay. Nope. Let's examine. So that was the picture there. I was going to look at the lamp that broke, because I don't remember it being broken, but it might actually be. There's just someone on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn. It's too much to think about. Better to sell it and have a clear head if you ask me. But clearly Mr. Brindybank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. Clock? That's a music box. Oh, I thought I clicked on a clock. Do you have them where you come from, Runo? Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. Okay. Oh, what are we looking at here? Oh, it's the police. The police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instructions from the auditor to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. Did you know I'm Australian? Whoops, that's a wrong accent. We're shifting through it in on shifts at least, but still. We'll be working right through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we'll barely have scratched the surface. It's funny, I didn't do an Australian for the actual Australian, but this random guy is now surprisingly Australian. A crime in a pawnbroker's. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know? A crime in a pawnbroker's. Bye. Zip zoom. Out of here. Okay. You look different. This officer's been staring intently at the wall since we came in here. Shh, keep it down. Oh, sorry. There's a major clue just here. Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once. But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over me shift. Oh, they really have a tough time, the British police. That doesn't stop us investigating, though, does it? Oh, I suppose not. Fairly sure it was the calendar he was appearing at. Yeah, and the big thing in it. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though. I'm not confident I can get it closed again. Oh yes, that's a folding stereoscope. Really, this is a stereoscope. Mr. Shum showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used the great big contraption over there. Oh, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself. What if I can make money out of these in Japan? It would be keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. What do you mean? What are you doing with your toilet there, buddy? Ah, look here! What the frick am I looking at? Oh, that's a bullet in the wall. Oh, wild. Yes, a bullet hole. And I can see the bullet still lodged in the wall. Presumably, Mr. Windybank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Because if he was, he'd be dead a lot earlier, I guess. That's pretty dark, Mr. Naruhodo. Jesus. Oh well. Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Sorry? It's all there in the Adventure for Herlock Sholmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris? Did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It's quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once! Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it... blood? Suspicious red stain on the calendar. Aha! I may well be able to help with that. What? There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. Well, of course I'm bloody-minded. I'm British. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yeah, because it's, we got A and B and AB, and Japan loves their blood types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So you need this. Oh no. What was a scary-looking thing? Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet, but as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Okay. Oh. It turns it into the blood from Reptile in Mortal Kombat. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed. There. Does it make sense now? Yes. I think I'm starting to understand. Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see? Yes, how wonderful! The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color, so you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash. That's how, oh, that'll be cool if we can actually see whose blood is whose. That's good. What a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great. So whose blood are we looking at then? Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood different colors, so... just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to in a flash. It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it? 1 flash or 2, this could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make note of it in the court record. Blood sample has been... Ooh. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have region left, sure. Actually, there's a stain on the back. I was gonna do that, but the game is moving me towards that. There's a stain on the back of the one photograph, isn't there? I think perhaps we should see if that tells us anything. I was gonna say... not that one. Well, actually, isn't there a faint blood mark there? Nope. I thought there was. But this is also new. Mr. Winterbank appears to have written a use back ticket to write a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use what he had on hand. It's hard to know what's front and what's the reverse side now. I thought if you see there, it looks like there's a light marking, but I guess not. Where there is definitely here. Mr. Naruhodo, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here. I have noticed. The red smear, you mean? Yeah, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if Susato-san had picked up on that. Well, in that case, yes, we need Iris. We should show this to her before we forget. Oh, I actually have to present it to her. Okay. Alright, so Susato's back with me then. Oh, this is gonna be cool, identifying with the blood. Oh, I hope that's a thing going forward, because that's super cool. That's super cool if that's the case. Oh, that looks like blood. Huh? It is. I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made out of leather. Oh, right, because there's not really like a fingerprint on it. Well, don't worry, Bruno. You can leave the rest to me. It's... Yo, that stuff is pink. That's someone else's blood. Look at that. Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point. Well, this particular stain of blood... Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is? No idea. How could I? We don't have a known sample of the same color. Without that, it's impossible to know. Oh, how very vexing. I wonder. What? Well, it's true that the color doesn't help us. But what about considering how the mark came to be in the first place? You might have an idea about that. Mightn't you? Not if you keep staring at me like that, no. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay, so if it was in the coat, there's only one person who not the color from the color it turned, but with a little deduction. That's right. I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well? You first, Bruno. Who do you think it belongs to? The only person wearing gloved... I believe that the only person, wearing gloved is Magnus McGilded, right? Mr. McGilded? Yeah. After all, this redemption ticket belonged to him. Oh, you don't think... You mean during the incident on the omnibus? Yes, I expected so. It's a very clear print and no small amount of blood. So it must have resulted from a fairly serious accident, such as one he might have sustained on the omnibus. Wait, but... Oh, no, it wouldn't be him. It'd be Thrice Fired Mason. No sign of injury was found on him. Oh. We're trying to work out whose blood it came from. Apparently I hit my calorie goal. Thanks, Fitbit. So we can rule out anyone who hasn't been bleeding straight away. That's on me. Yes, I suppose we can. It was his glove, but not his blood. Right? Alright, so this is Thrice Fired Mason. Thrice Fired Mason? You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there. Well, it was 2 months ago in that case, and of course I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice Fired Mason. But that would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windybanks yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time. So it's a smear blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. That's why I got confused. Because he didn't tell us about that. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. Give him a hand, I did. A hand job, ho ho ho! I mean, because I killed him. It's like I did a job with my hand. Slip at a tongue. He certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, this mark. We know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body, from which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. Mr. Naruhodo, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes. I definitely didn't get it wrong at least once. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. No, I had those. Yes, I think you're right, Runo. Very well. Let's make a note of this. The details have been added. Okay. Cool. Blood samples portfolio has been added and updated. All right. Anything else for us to look at? I don't think so. I think we're pretty... I mean, we could look at that, but it's just going to be the stereo. Yeah, whatever. We'll take a look. It's that strange contraption lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think. When Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday, we were blissfully unaware any of this was about to happen. Okay. So now we can move... Oh no, I guess we gotta actually examine the door. Okay. Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said. Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. That's real incriminating. Mr. Windybank, face down on the floor, with Gina beside him. As the accused's legal representative, you have the right to examine this scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough investigation. Yes, of course. And we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime. Don't worry, if there are any clues in there, I'll find them. So, can we, like, go there now? Yes, Windybank's storeroom. We could linger here a little longer, I think. That's just saying, like, hey, you gotta go in there. Well, that's gonna be the place that we can examine the blood color. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely. Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windybank's life was taken in this very room. And then we're going to click on the bicycle, and we're going to get, like, a silly scene of him being like, well, I can't ride a bicycle. And Iris being like, I will invent a bicycle for you. It's like, it's going to be real silly right after this murder has occurred. Hi, Gregson. Ah! Oh, hi. Wait, Inspector? What is it now, sunshine? You only took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer, do you? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, it's a thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me, you were running away from a 10-year-old girl. I'm afraid this is a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? Oh, buddy, I don't think that went very well. You're bad with children. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigating to do ourselves. Yes, I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say. Oh, Hurley, and inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. Well, first off... I can't click on Le Bicycle. Wait, really? Okay, chest. What do we got here? Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them. I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings. Look! A piece of different people's lives, quietly gathering dust here and here together. Something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policeman shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, sunshine. Okay. What about the chest? Out of all the articles in the storeroom, it's the only thing that shows any signs of being ransacked. What is it, Iris? That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh! Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely that's not what all this... Huh. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. We must check inside the box at once. It's gonna be empty. Yes. Huh? It was there. Oh, Iris' story was there. Really? It was. Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited it here, but still, it's a relief to actually see it. Really, because that's not a very well-hidden frown. It's actually very visible. Iris's manuscript has been added to the court record. Can we... That's big evidence. Can we read it? Oh, it's just a big old manuscript, huh? No blood stains. The Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Sasato-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? I mean, it's obvious. Mr. Watson, or Wilson, told her about it before he died. Suppose I have to just wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. Like, that just feels a little obvious in my eyes. Really? Like, nothing else? I mean, aside from the obvious, I guess we're not playing around in this room as much. This is a revolver! A real one! Like Oda Nobunaga used, and Sasato's like, no, he used a very different one. And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Winniebank's life. What's the matter, Susie? You and Runo look like you're about to faint. Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh. You know, guns are known for flesh. And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Winniebanks with this yesterday, didn't we? When he threatened to blow his brains out at the slightest inconvenience? Really, I know we're sad for him, but this day would have come sooner or later. Do it again. Yes! I shall take my own life! Me! I mean, I'm not gonna say me, actually. My life has been going pretty okay. I shouldn't make those jokes. I know I shouldn't, but it's real hard to get used to not, because, you know, you spend a good part of your life making those jokes because everyone goes mood and real, and then you realize, oh frick, for some people it's too real and too mood. Anyways, I'm gonna sip my green tea plum tea. It's so frickin' good. Plum flavor stuff, my beloved. Must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, that's the worst part. And the fact she was unconscious for some reason. That was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand. Mr. Winbank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now, and the one and only bullet he had in his gun had been fired. So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. But then, how did it shoot him and outside, you know? So that's the question. Police had marked the position of a body with a chalk outline. Or Mr. Windybank. He was a nice old man. Well, he was shot just once, through the heart. Most likely the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing. How do we know that? How do we know that? You know, they say, oh, he died instantly, he felt no pain. How do we know? How do we not know that dying isn't some excruciating process? Because we don't. Because when you're dead, you're dead. Do you ever think about that? I do. This must be his blood, then. I don't like to have such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action. Silly themes start playing. So the question is... That's a different color. That's not his blood outside. Huh. So now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Windybanks' blood. It doesn't match our analysis of the blood stain we found in the main shop. No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to need to get Sholmes' blood sample at the hospital. Interesting. Oh, I can still investigate it? Really? Iris? Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well. Hey, buddy. Do you have anything to say about this? Is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest. Yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles. The most fascinating title, your ladyship. Fascinating and, I don't suppose. Would there be any mention I help myself in the town this time? Good question. I can't really remember. I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? I'll just await its publication with eager anticipation. You needn't worry, Inspector. I'm sure if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. You're looking to be arrested, Sunshine? I didn't mean it like that. And even if I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? Anything to say about this? Inspector, la-da-da-da-da, no need to share. Greg Z, have a tea. Ah, ta very much. I'm gonna take a sip of mine, too. Plum green tea. This is so good. Anyways, let's talk then. Scene of the crime. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Pshaw! You've got eyes, haven't you? Use them! It is what it looks like. It is what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Greg, see, what do you make of the crime scene here? Oh, yes, your ladyship. Do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour, 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard Police attended the scene. The one and only door in the storeroom was found locked from the inside. It was locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officer's doing? Quite right, ma'am. Quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as tumbly as possible. Oh. And as you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor thus-wise. And I'm not doing this voice all the time for this animation. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say, she had the gun that was used in her hand. No. Wait. But that means there's gonna be another gun if there's 2 shots of 2 different people. Right? Right. Presumably it's the gun that's still on the floor now. Because then whose blood's outside? In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom? And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend. Somewhat of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that this is all some sort of a misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. Anyways, can you tell me about Sholmesy? Rexy, you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he? The thing is, Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No. The operation's done and dusted. It's just that, out with it! Oh, she's gonna chuck him? Yes, ma'am. They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took them hours for him to nod off, or so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my! No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch till he comes around again. Early. Well, the moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get the word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Alright, well. I think that's about that here, right? If you let your concentration slip, you might miss what people say. That makes it sound like there's something else to show. Let's see here. Nope, not this. Okay, not very much. Okay, and Gina's representation papers. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Pawnbroker's ticket. Oh, Inspector, what do you make of this? What have we here, then? Redemption ticket for... Oh, that makes sense, because it'll help us find it. Redemption ticket for an article deposit here, is it? Looks like someone ran off his stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever was to hand. Yes, it's a ticket for McGilded's overcoat, the one the little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do ya? No, I didn't mean... I didn't, Bruno's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted your ladyship. So what's all this about that you might be so bold to ask? This is a second ticket. Second one? It seems that Mr. McGilded, in fact, had another article in storage here at Windybanks. Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Okay, good. The second redemption ticket. I love the hints on the warping around. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilded's overcoat. You mean to tell me... Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilded deposited another article here with Mr. Windybank. Yes, I can see it written here. Small box, was it? Do you have any idea where it might be, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. It could be an important clue. Well, yeah, sir, I suppose it could be. Please stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. It'll make me lose my marbles and I'll go barking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. The furry convention's next week, my dude. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. If I wanted sauce, I would have put tartar on my fish and chips, you see? Maybe some smushy peas. That's the good stuff. There's one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it? Oh yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months. So the small box will no longer be here then? Well, that's right. It's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in front of the shop where the forfeited items are offered for sale. Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. Oh? There are dozens of little boxes out there. Hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger. Ugh. Well, I think we should at least have a look just in case. Oh, of course, your ladyship, of course. You're very sensible of you, I'm sure. It's getting old. It's getting stinky. Oh? Oi! It's 3 bong! Everyone take off your hats and salute the queen. It's 3 bong. It's 3 bong. Big Bong says it's 3 bong. I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Winniebank set up such a wicked trap? I doubt he set that out to scare anyone. Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon. Oh? Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you'll be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Don't you remember, Runo? You told her she could rip up the representation letters if she didn't want you to be her lawyer. Really? Did I say that? Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching. In that case, we'd better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Alright. Just checking here. Feels normal. Attic room. Sholmes is sweet. Prison. Are we gonna get here and it'll be too late? 5:41 p.m. Oh, it took us like 2 hours and 41 minutes to get here? Dang. Local prison, cell 13. Gina. Good. You're back. Yeah? The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Jeannie? Was it awful? Didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Winniebank's. Oh, right. Huh? Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy. What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, that I did it. That's not... Gina, we came to ask for your final decision. What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not? There's a slight vibration in the controller there. I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you. Right. I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear. Hey, do you want to see something cool? Check out a pawnbroker box ticket. Here, Gina, look at this. No, Ta. I wasn't saying you could have it. Oh, weren't ya? Well, when someone says I can have stuff, it makes me want stuff, see? You better hand it over now. No, I'm not giving it to you. Jeez. Oh, right. Gina, I'd like to thank you for signing these papers. If you want to thank me, you can do it once you got me off the hook. Alright then. Wait, what? Shouldn't she be thanking me then? Also, is that saying you want us to do it? Did I do it out of order? You know what, Mr. Narrow Odo? It ain't good manners to expect thanks if you do someone a favor. I know that. She's as tricky with her words as she is with her fingers. Do you see this pawnbroker's ticket, Gina? It's the one you took to Winniebank's, isn't it? The one for that black overcoat that you're wearing now. What, that? I don't know. They all look the same to me, those tickets. Surely not. Well, this one has a very obvious mark on it. That would appear to be blood. Eh, does that ring any bells? I don't know. It all looks the same to me. Blood. And they all sound the same to me. These answers suspicious. Blood samples. Nope, she's gonna steal the blood samples. We don't want that. Want to see a book? We found this in Mr. Winniebanks' storeroom. Manuscript of Iris's latest story. Huh? Right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Winniebanks showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke the box open containing this manuscript last night? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Yeah. Why didn't you just tell us what happened? Why don't you just tell us what happened, please? Wow. Okay, well, anyways. Oh, all right then. Blimey, give it a rest with those eyes, Iris. So come on, fill us in. Who done it? Well, unfortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime. And while we haven't managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know why you broke into Winniebanks that night. We did that already. Yeah, we did that. Anyways, how do you feel about being represented? We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand them into the court desk. I think I did that as Sasato's voice accidentally. That is, if you allow me to represent you in court tomorrow? Nah, don't bother. Ginny, rip them up and chuck them, would ya? Them representation papers, or whatever they're called. Your cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. That is one stubborn pickpocket. Well, we're gonna go turn him in then. Alright, yeah. It's Baskerville story. It's the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured it's got to be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right? Oh yes, at the least 5,000 pounds. What? So you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you? No. Ginny, how could you? What? Wait, no. No, hang on. Of course I weren't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if this manuscript or whatever you call it really was there or not. That's the problem. That's the reason I was in the place. For Iris's sake. Isn't that right? We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But I knew you wouldn't do anything like that, Ginny. I just knew it. Well, yeah. When I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you said the night before. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realised it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Winniebanks. You'd soon see it if you had a look. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you! Alright. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. New option? Yes. Reason for breaking in, let me know. It wasn't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest? If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windy Banks? It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got a dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last night when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy? You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective, so much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner? Well, that's how I see it, yeah? You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny. Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we? Look, give it a... Oh, I'm vibrating on the... I was like, what is that noise? That's me laying the controller on the table and it vibrating. Give it a rest, will ya? I ate all this chummy nonsense, do you hear me? I ate it! Well, looks like they feed you well in prison, am I right? I don't trust no one, alright? That's how I work. 'Cause if you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, Scarper! Did I say that right, Scarper? I don't know. Also, is that blood on your cuffs? Do I see that right? Is that new? I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains. Whoa! Why are you looking at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now. Yeah, Gina. Can we shoot you with a gun? Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet. Whoa! But blood, Mr. Naruhodo. You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So, could it be blood that splattered from Mr. Windybank when he was shot last night? Well, let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get the results much faster than anything else. Take it easy, Iris. I won't hesitate, bitch. Don't move, Ginny, I'm gonna shoot. Let's see. That's a lot of purple? Purple. Wait, hold up. That's purple. So that's all thrice fired. That's a lot of thrice fired Mason blood. Oh my. What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why I haven't seen them until now. Interesting. And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've collected perfectly. Yes. Now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Yes, it was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago. I knew it. What are you on about? The victim? What do you mean? It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Oi! Would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half a story! So, like, what do we do from here about that? 'Cause, like, he's dead. We can now see that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilded's overcoat. In the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said that in his testimony... Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No, if that was what really had happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over in front of the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded. It's actually so cool that we go back and go, oh frick, we messed up. And this is the first time I think in Ace Attorney history where I can't think of another time where you like go, oh, like it's fine, it was fine in the end. Like it's not, you know, you're innocent, and then it comes back later and it's like you actually shouldn't have done that. I don't think it's ever happened. So, Mr. Naruhodo, that horrible case is solved at last, and I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen? Bruno, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded? I personally didn't. I believed. Or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon. A weapon? A lawyer's weapon. Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. You mean Kazuma-sama? Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie, which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. What's fun, Gina?
Cool. Sounds like this Empire Japan you came from. Everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's got you in believing in that bog trotter.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Well, at least you learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. That's we call that the London hello. You say hello and you get shanked. What it is. Jack the Ripper and all that. As soon as he lets your guard down, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one, get hurt by no one.
What if I get yogurt by no one? Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
How many times do I have to say them? Rip them up and chuck them away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants. I bet that's what he wants and all now, Mr. I'm a Believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in the trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after all that? Not likely.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, a lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. I trust her.
Yeah.
Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Eh, are you half-baked?
Not at all. I've not been baked once. That is very illegal in Japan, I'll have you know. You've not once admitted to committing a crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Seriously, I'm Mr. Naruhodo. Didn't you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue. I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you in all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina, I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize.
What do you mean?
The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I'm completely on your side.
What do you expect me to say to that?
Oh, we broke her. Then it's decided. I'll take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It won't be a shame to throw them away now after it's all been penned with your name so beautifully.
Do what you like, you Eastern lot of I don't know what you are. I don't get you.
Gina's taking herself off to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think. Hitting those mad ellipses. Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Oh. What? Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice. Mrs. Sato, somebody's there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before. What? Who? Blimey, you're sharp, eh? Oh. I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Craigsy! Oh dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you. How long have you been listening in on our conversation? Oh, good grief, listening in? No. I just got word there were some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Is it that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all in the best, bye-bye and bye. That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. No, but I wanted to have a chat. I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute. Oh, I see. That's a shame. If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well, emergency? Lord Strongheart? Oh, nothing. Forget I said anything. Anyway, I'm off. All right, Gregsy, if you have to, but let's chat soon. Delighted. Charmed. Can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere. Gregsy's so funny. He says such silly things. It is certainly entertaining seeing Inspector the Police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. No, it's not. It's actually kind of weird. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes. Yes, of course. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later. Hmm. And so our investigation came to an end. Sasato-san went to the file necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day, and then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Sasato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. Date hasn't gone over yet. Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted. What about you, Sasato-san? Today's been even more tiring for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes. Gina was arrested. All on the back of the news that her father had fallen ill and she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. You can cry. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow. One final task? What do you mean by that? It's just 2 months since we arrived in London. It's just been, rather. But we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Sasato-san. It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts. I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something. And what would that be? It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets. And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live. That's so true. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear, that all the facets will be illuminated and I'll finally understand how everything fits together. Naruhodo-san. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark. It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much. Sorry? Of what? Oh, no. It was nothing. Unimportant. That was a new expression. We've never seen her like that. That was interesting. Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning? Yes. I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's... I almost said undermine. That's wrong. To determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you'll find it hard to sleep. I know I'd have a hard time sleeping the night before traveling across the world, but mind you, that is, 14 hours of flying as opposed to 50 days. But please, for me, do try. But what is this final task you're talking about? Because you can't be in my trial tomorrow. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this. Oh, your book? What is that, some huge bundle of documents? It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. Oh no, I thought it was her little book. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. The McGilded case. It seems to me that this case of Mr. Windybanks' murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you. With everything else she's had to think about, Sasato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Sasato-san. I'll do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. Huh. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Sasato-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Wait, there's something I need to say. Oh! We got Shakya'd. What was that? A secret technique of mine, the Sasato shutdown. Shutdown? Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears. Oh, and his eyes get blurry too! Sasato-san. Mind you, I'm like 100% certain she's just gonna come back, right? She's just gonna come back for the second game. Then again, that's sort of just how like Nick and Maya say goodbye at the end of Ace Attorney 1, and then it's like right away it's like, hey Nick, I'm back. What's up? You miss me? Hey. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted. Yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes. And as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. Bro's hitting them big snoozies. God, I wish that was me. Well, it will be soon, because I'm going to bed right after this. Never mind! The Small Hours. St. Sinner's Hospital. Ward 3. The Small Hours. Is that like the dark hour, but you become small? Yes. I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place, exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. Wait, is this her? On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. Miss Sasato, I bid you farewell and Godspeed. Yeah, my dear madam. What are they cooking? What are they cooking? They got some stuff cooking up. What are they cooking? Show me the ingredient list. Right? They're up to snuffing. They're up to something snussy. Alright, guys, we're heading on to the trial of episode 5 next time, guys. We'll see you then for some more great Ace Attorney. Ciao.